Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Rover's Rival. Released in 1937, it's the 179th in the series and it's directed by Bob Clampett. You can currently find this on the Porky Pig 101 DVD set, I have a link below. Since I did the original commentary a while back, they've done a beautiful new HD restoration which you can find on HBO Max. So for those who haven't seen this one before, as it's not in the public domain, there's not really much of a story here. Essentially, Porky Pig reads a book about teaching dog tricks. Well, you can see his dog right here is not exactly a fresh puppy, so he tries to teach the dog a few tricks, but this smug little puppy comes along and tries to show up this dog, and that's pretty much it.
7, 8, 2, 9, 10, Jack Queen King.
So what you're about to see is, first of all, a re-edit of my original audio commentary I did before I had to take it down due to a request from Warner Brothers Legal. Then you'll hear some new thoughts from me, and you'll be hearing some thoughts from my good friend Manny Cruz, which comes from the Bob Clampett video that we did, along with a few other people. So grab some popcorn and enjoy.
Well, you girls learn, young whippersnapper. Watch this.
So, right off the bat, this cartoon is actually notable for two reasons. Actually, three reasons rather. So, the first things first, as you've probably already heard, and if you've been watching this commentary series either from the beginning or later on, you'll notice that the merry-go-round broke down song played in the beginning, so the so-called Looney Tunes theme. I know before the Merry Melodies theme had played for the first time in a different cartoon, but this is the first time we hear the so-called Looney Tunes theme in the opening, which is, yeah, musical themes. I had a look as well. So none that I recognise except obviously the merry-go-round broke down, but I looked up a list of the songs that are in this one. You got Old Black Joe, Oh Where Has My Dog Gone, Nagasaki, They Gotta Quit Kicking My Dog Around, Old Dog Tray, Cause My Baby Says It's So, and The Bulldog on the Bank. Now, I have been told by a Twitter follower, he goes by the username Doodled, so I'll put his details in the description below, but he informed me that the Dynamite sequence is animated by Chuck Jones and Izzy Ellis, though Bob Clampett may have been involved in that as well. Because I would have mentioned in previous commentary that Bob seemed to be somewhat the jack of all trades, and yeah, I think he was perhaps overstretching himself, and once he actually got other gag men to take off some of the load, and he relied on his animators more, then we got the better Bob Clampett pictures. But man, this sequence here, look at all the effects, animation, the speed involved. It'll be interesting to compare all of these Bob Clampett shorts that have Chuck Jones as the assistant director versus the ones that Bob Clampett does on his own. I mean, I can tell you now, I do prefer already the Bob Clampett ones when he's on his own, but yeah, it's just interesting to see. So the cartoon itself is, it's pretty fun. It actually starts off pretty slow, and then it gets really fast, and I quite enjoyed that.
Now, this is actually the first time you're going to hear the Do You Mean It, which is a reference to Bert Gordon's character, the Mad Russian, as he was starting around about now. It would be the first of many times that Bob Clampett would reference the Mad Russian in his shorts.
Do you mean it?
Plus, it's the first appearance of the Porky coming out of the drum ending, which would be used up until 1946. Now, I actually had made a mistake on this one, both in the original commentary and in the Bob Clampett retrospective. I know, shocking, right? Me making a mistake? But I had said that Robert C. Bruce had done the voice of this old dog, and in my defense, and I'm sure a lot of people's defense, that info comes from the book Mel Blanc, The Man of a Thousand Voices. But according to Keith Scott, that information is incorrect, as Robert C. Bruce was not in LA until 1938. So I'm not sure who does that voice there, but thanks again, Keith Scott, for providing that vital piece of information. Whenever you watch a Clamper cartoon, the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, those wonderful gags, some of which are the most insane in animated history. But here, the focus is more on just how great some of the animation is, like this dog here done by Chuck Jones, and I mean, look at the weight of that. That is just incredible. Absolutely incredible, and definitely something that aspiring animators should be looking at. Now, I've already pointed this out in my previous comments, but this scene right here just absolutely amazes me, which I'm playing now at half speed. I mean, look at all those lines. See, this to me just seems to be like a holdover from what was done at the Iwerks Studios, because that's what a lot of their animators did, if you pay close attention. But I don't know why they brought it over for this one, and then they seem to not do it again. Maybe it's just too much work to do, but what an effect. Look at that. That's just an amazing piece of work, and even at half speed, it still shows how much speed there actually was with it. It's absolutely incredible. This short has a very, very simple story, and I think that was intentional. I mean, it would have to be, given that Bob Clampett was basically a novice director here, and he was, of course, working with Chuck Jones at the time. It makes sense to pick something very simple and then just practice. I mean, if you look at the staging and the framing of the two dogs when they were talking to each other, it's clear that they're just trying out different storytelling techniques, and yeah, well, you gotta start somewhere, as I've said before. You can tell that Clampett, he had all these ideas in his head. I don't know, he didn't quite have it down yet. I think he just needed the practice with directing, and I could see what he wanted to do, but this one fell a little flat for me. But Manny may beg to differ, though. What are your thoughts on Rover's Rival?
Well, one of the things I just remembered, you could argue that it's definitely more important when it comes to history as opposed to the short itself. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first cartoon that used the merry-go-round broke down as the Looney Tunes theme song. I always make it a point to my non-Looney Tune fanatic, aficionado, geek friends that there is a difference between the merry-go-round broke down and Merrily We Roll Along. Sorry, let me get off my soapbox for a moment. But when it comes to the cartoon itself, I recently rewatched it because I've been watching the shorts in chronological order. And when I was rewatching Rover's Rival, I'll agree that it's inconsistent. There are parts of it that I find really funny, but it's just the flow of the story itself and then like how it sets up for the ending. It's a little off. It's not a bad short, but it's like Clampett is still figuring out his stride. Great animation, great voice acting from Mel Blanc there.
So what would I rate this one? You know, I would give it maybe a generous 6 out of 10. It's got a few funny moments and a few amazing animated moments, but again, as I mentioned, it's clear that Clampett was working things out, and yeah, it's interesting to see his development and what he would eventually become, but for the short itself, it's okay. But that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.
Teaching old dog new tricks. Why, you're not finished or through or washed up. You're really not one of them there used to was's. Why, shucks, Rover. You're the best little stick bringer backer that ever was. Do you mean it?